Troubleshooting power antenna assemblies. A lot of Mercedes were built with power antennas. These power antennas were a really nice feature that was available starting as early as 1954 on the 300 SL, and they eventually spread to other models. They had become mainstream by approximately 1966 with the introduction of the W108 chassis, and W109 were many different diverse Mercedes models started to be supplied with Hirschman power antennas. As the design of the power antenna evolved, it became less complicated, less bulky, and also in some cases more fragile. And we're going to talk about the Hirschman 6000 series today mostly, although we're also going to touch a little bit on the Hirschman 5000 series as well as problems with antenna masts. Most of the antenna masts are actually replaceable, despite what Becker AutoSound says. If you have an antenna mast from the late 1960s, it is possible to install a modern toothed mast from like a 560 SL or similar in one of these early antennas, and it does work. Now, I've had a number of situations where the antennas in these cars are replaced with aftermarket units. I really hate aftermarket Hirschman units. They're ugly and cheap and sealed for life, and they're totally sloppy. So my job today is to convince you to install to keep your antenna original or retrofit an original antenna. So the number one most common antenna we see is the Hirschman 6000 series, installed starting 1984 on all models 201, 123, 126, and retained on the 126 series cars. And to some extent, similar designs were used in the W202 and of course the W201 and the 129 chassis cars. As the antennas progressed, they became equipped with phone capabilities, and of course the design became more reliable. And so we're going to look at some of the issues that befall these. So with the antenna masts, I have to say that even a Europarts mast is better than a broken mast. It's very hard now to find Hirschman masts because they're all no longer available. I don't know why Hirschman has stopped producing these. Perhaps somebody could give me some insight. I don't even know if Hirschman exists as a company anymore. I think it's like a sub-brand of Harman Audio Systems or something like that. But the most common issue, other than a broken mast that we find with these antennas, is this. It's the circuit board. And a lot of people say, oh, the circuit boards are not repairable, but this looks like a simple electronic board. So I don't know, Chris Rose, Jack, some of you other electronics nerds that watch my channel, I want to try to find a way to fix these because this is the number one issue that disrupts the Hirschman antenna. So we're going to look at a couple of other things too. Sometimes the switch on the dash can be bad. You really need to verify that the switch on the dash is working, because the thing that I've observed is that you can check these two pins, the blue and the white terminal. By the way, this lives in the antenna case if you wonder where it lives. The blue and the white terminal should alternate. So blue means antenna up, white means antenna down. This is when you push the switch down. Of course, this is your master ground. And then this black wire is the wire that, I think this is the wire that intercepts signal from the radio to go up, and then this red wire is constant power, and then these guys are little relays. But I mean, if you could get your hands on a used circuit board, even a 3-wire circuit board from like a later 190 or 126 without an antenna button, I'm sure you've noticed some cars have antenna buttons and some cars don't. This is a version with an antenna button. You don't need the version with the antenna button to get it to work. It'll just go up to maximum height or go all the way down. It won't vary that much. So we see a lot of this. Now with the masts, the best thing to do is remove the entire antenna case, unsnap the side of the antenna carefully, and manually feed the mast in by hand. Don't do this goofy thing that Hirschman has talked about where they say, oh, you could just feed the mast in while the antenna is cycling. It does not work. It has never worked. It's a stupid idea. The good news is that these are really tough antennas. Now, if you go back to the Metal Case 5000 series, which was used from approximately 1970 to 1983, but with a lot of different updates in between. The Metal Case 5000 series Hirschman antennas have a goofy plastic gear that is buried in the spool that drives the antenna downward. And I need to see about getting somebody to reproduce these things because they're just so difficult. First of all, you have a plastic gear that's smashed onto a brass guide. And this goofy brass guide is what actually is what this gear rests on. But the gear, because it's pressed on and because of the kind of plastic they use, the gear tends to expand and crack as it ages. So most of the time these antennas don't have electrical problems. Sometimes they seem to have problems with like the circuit board, but the circuit board is actually a simple switchboard. It doesn't have a bunch of this stuff on it. So anyway, I know this is not like a video for everybody, but if you want to troubleshoot your antenna, now you know about the gear in the 5000 series and you know about the circuit board in the 6000 series, you should be able to figure the rest out. And also, I think that modern Hirschman antennas, including the Hirschman manual antenna, are garbage, so don't use one. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Please tap the bell for notifications, and please give us a thumbs up, and we will, we'd appreciate your comments below. Enjoy working on your Mercedes. Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters, and enjoy working on your Mercedes Benz.